Ja, guten Abend. Dann begrüße ich Sie alle ganz herzlich und vor allem Maha Maamoun begrüße ich herzlich, die aus Kairo hierher gekommen ist und schon seit 2 Wochen hier im Schmela Haus wohnt. Sie ist die dritte Stipendiatin des Goethe-Institut-Programms, was wir mit der Kunstsammlung Nordrhein-Westfalen, mit dem Goethe-Institut uns ausgedacht haben, dass wir hier die Chance nutzen, dass dieses Haus hier ein kombiniertes Galerie- und Wohnhaus ist mit Wohnetagen im oberen Stock und sind in der glücklichen Lage, dank der Hilfe des Goethe-Instituts Gäste aus möglichst weit entfernten Gegenden, die wir noch nicht so gut kennen, einladen zu können. Ich darf Maha Maamoun kurz vorstellen. Sie ist in Kalifornien geboren, aber schon im Alter von 5 Jahren nach Kairo gezogen mit den Eltern. Und sie hat einen ganz interessanten Background, würde ich sagen. I'm speaking about your biography and about the artist and curatorial practice you try to mix. Wir haben hier diese Residency eigentlich als Curators Residency, also als Kuratorenresidenz, aber wir sind da nicht so ganz streng. Das war eigentlich vor allem auch deswegen, weil wir hier im Schmela Haus eben kein Studio anbieten können, aber viele Künstler arbeiten heute anders und mit dem Laptop und das ist irgendwie eine schöne Situation, so mit jemandem wie mit ihr, dass sich eben die beiden Praktiken künstlerischer Arbeit und kuratorischer Arbeit abwechseln, vermischen und dass sie versucht, beides zusammenzuhalten. Dabei ist sie noch viel mehr. Sie hat nämlich Wirtschaftswissenschaften studiert an der American University of Cairo und hat danach dann den MA gemacht in Geschichte des Nahen Ostens, hat sich mit einem Philosophen, der in Granada lebt, im frühen Mittelalter beschäftigt. Also ein sehr großer historischer Background ist auch vorhanden und sie ist dann 2004, aber auch immer ein großes Interesse an Bildern. 2004 ist sie Mitbegründerin des Contemporary Image Collective in Kairo, sicherlich. Well, you will tell us something about this independent art group, and you are also running a space, an exhibition space there. Also das ist auch ein Ausstellungsraum in Kairo. Und 2009 ist dann die erste eigene künstlerische Arbeit entstanden, ein Film, der den Titel heißt Domestic Tourism, wo Maha Maamoun aus ägyptischen Filmen, in denen die Pyramiden eine große Rolle spielen, die Szenen rausgeschnitten hat, in denen die Pyramiden als Background dienen und hat die dann in einer gewissen Weise angeordnet, was selbst wie so eine Zeitpyramide dann war in diesem Film. Und hat sich da eben darüber eigentlich so begonnen, oder das ist schon ein Ausdruck ihres Interesses an der Identität von Bildern, an der Repräsentationskraft von Bildern, an der Symbolkraft von Bildern und hat das dann in anderen Videoarbeiten weiter betrieben, diese Recherche, und hatte mehrere Ausstellungen, auch hier in Deutschland. Schon im Fridericianum war dieses Jahr im Sommer eine Ausstellung von ihr zu sehen, deren Titel war The Night of Counting the Years. Das war der Titel der Ausstellung, aber es ist auch der Titel eines Videos. Und maybe I won't get more and more into the details because it's better we hear you talking about your work. Very heartily welcome here, Maha. It's really a pleasure to be with you here, and we are very much looking forward to hear from you more.
So thank you everyone for coming. I'm very happy to be here with you tonight and to share with you some of the works. So I guess from what Doris has mentioned that I'm both an artist and I sometimes curate and do other projects with other people. I will show you tonight a mix of my work as an artist and work that I was involved in as a curator, sometimes as a bookmaker. So first, this image I just took a screenshot from the front page of CIC, which is short for the Contemporary Image Collective. It's a space in Cairo that was started in 2004 by a number of people involved with photography. So whether artists or photojournalists or collectors of photography or publishers of photography. It was a odd mix of people who had shared together the feeling that there's a necessity to start a space that focuses more on photography and professionals' needs in this area. So this year is our 10th anniversary, and you can just get an idea. So we have a photo school, we give photography courses, we have exhibitions of photography, also artists using photography or video or film, mainly lens-based kind of work. In the beginning, the artists who started this place were running the place and also curating it, but as the years went by, we started separating the founders from and started hiring like an artistic director who would take care of the programming, and so this is now becoming more institutional. Right, so I will start by showing you, like I said, it's a succession. I kind of put them in order according to the years they were made, like so chronologically. So I will go through some of my work, some of other people's work according to just how they happened. So I will start with a clip from this film that I made that Doris mentioned called Domestic Tourism 2. It was a film that, so I was interested to see how the pyramids, which are always like the quintessential symbol of Egypt, I wanted to see how they are in the present, because always they are situated like as part of an ancient past. You always see them with a background of like an open desert. They're kind of timeless, and they're always presented out of time and out of place. But actually, if you come to Cairo, if you've been to Cairo, you know that they are really on the edge of the city. You drive past them every day. They're not separated from our present context. So I wanted to show how they are immersed in the present political, social, economic conditions by looking at how they are presented in Egyptian cinema. So I started researching Egyptian films and seeing scenes when the pyramids are used as a background. And then I made the 1-hour film. I will show you, I think, about 20 minutes.
تمشي في طريق صحرا سيتي لغاية ما توصلي عند الشاليهات. في على اليمين شاليه أبيض دورين، تدخلي من الطريق اللي جنبه، وعند آخر الطريق ده هتلاقي شاليه صغير لونه تقريبا أصفر. هو ده، وهكون مستنيك هناك.
Films that were made, that I selected from the 50s up till 2006, I think, that I have ordered in a chronological order, again in the films, in this film. And the material was, I kind of acquired from the market, so you'll see the quality. Sometimes it's from a VHS, sometimes it's from a cheap VCD that is sold on the market. So you'll find very different formats, different qualities.
مانجا فراولة عايز
2 والنبي
بس كده. عناية يا ست هانم، اتفضلي. بنقدم انا اقدامها.
شكرين يا عمنا. ايه ده عينك في ايه؟
لا انا يعني مستغرب بس على الناس اللي قاطعين الدنيا طولها وعرضها لاجل ما يجوا يشوفوا اثارنا وعظمه جدودنا، واحنا اكتريتنا لا شافوها ولا ناويين يشوفوها حتى. طلعي لي ليه كده؟ غلطان؟
شوف يا كريستين، جون خطيبك ده انا حبيته من كل قلبي عشان باين له واد مجدع وابن حلال، بس انا عايز انصحك نصيحه لوجه الله. الراجل مننا لو طال من المزه بتاعته اللي هو عايزه بيركب جناحات ويطير. يعني لما يشوفك يا بنت الناس من دلوقتي وانت لابسه المقور والمدور والمحور، امال هيشوف ايه بعد الجواز؟ معلش احنا بنتكلم. عشان كده يا كريستين عايزك كده واخده بالك تشوقيه، عشان كل ما هتشوقيه كل ما هيلبت فيكي اكتر واكتر. لان لما البني ادم مننا بيشوف بقى الست معاه عايزه مش عارف ايه يا كريستين، انت زعلت من كلامي ولا ايه؟ كريستين كريستين كريستين
يوسف،
بص بقى، انا عايزك تحكي لي عن كل حاجه في فرنسا. النهار شكله ايه؟ الليل عامل ازاي؟ فاهمني طبعا. الناس عاملين ايه؟ عايشين ازاي؟ كل حاجه، عايز اعرف كل حاجه.
هم ناس زي اي ناس، بس بيعملوا كل حاجه بجد. عشت سنين على اني واحد منهم. قربت انسى اني مصري، بس هم ما بينسوش حاجه ابدا.
يا عم بس اكيد احسن بكتير من هنا.
بس الجميل هنا الطيبه، الناس هنا طيبه قوي. تفتكر الطيبه لوحدها كفايه؟
جود مورنينج. قلعة ولا بيراميدزا؟ قلعة. سفنكس؟ ايوه سوري يا مس، يا مسز، يو ار سليب بليز. اصحي اصحي يا مسز. قلعة قلعة قلعة. yes pyramids yes pyramids.
عارف يا باشا، انا لفيت العالم كله ما لقيتش احلى من مصر، وخصوصا الاهرامات.
عارف انا نفسي في ايه؟ عايزه اطلع الهرم ده.
يا مسهل.
شفتي مصر حلوه قد ايه؟
جميله.
انت اللي فوق انزل. في انهاك الجسد تتحرر الروح. ودي بقى فلسفة المجانين. ومين هو المجنون؟ اعتقد يا دكتور ان حضرتك اكتر واحد تعرف المجانين، مش برضه دكتور مجانين؟ انا متهيألي المجنون هو اللي يسأل اسئلة زي اللي حضرتك بتسألها دي. يعني طلعت الهرم ليه؟ معاك بطاقة ولا لا؟ لا اسمع لما اقول لك، كمان عليك اتعديت منهم. وانصحك يا دكتور، شوف لك سرير جنب العينين بتوعك. بطاقتك اهي وما تطلعش الهرم تاني.
انا اطلع الهرم وقت ما انا عايز.
اسمع يا جرع انت، انا لو شفتك هنا تاني انا مش هسكت لك، سامع ولا لا؟
في انهاك الجسد تتحرر الروح.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? My name is Sabir El-Hilali. I am your guide today. You are fortunate today to be standing on the great land of the pharaohs, the greatest and the oldest civilization, and one of the great 7 wonders of the world. Now you can see and touch history right in front of you. Hidden underneath this land, secrets of the ancient Egyptians. Secrets which modern technology is unable to solve until this moment. Let's all pray to God to give us the power and strength so we can bring back to Egypt its great civilization and provide the world with the light of truth, light that will never die.
Way.
أنا الحارس الأمين بين يدي مولاه.
أنا الحارس الأمين بين يدي مولاه.
ساهرا عليه.
ساهرا عليه.
قريبا منه.
قريبا منه.
فانيا
في ذاته.
حتى
لقد أطفى على وجهي سماته وقسماته. أنا صاحب فرعون. بل إني أنا فرعون. عبدني الناس منذ فجر الدهور، واختلفت أسمائي باختلاف العصور.
مالك حسن؟
أنا حسن بهنسي بهلول. أنا المسكين في هذا الزمان. أنا المحاط بالأوهام. أنا الذي إذا جاع نام. أنا المخدوع بالكلام. أنا استرقت يا علي. استرقت يا علي. استرقت.
The scene in the book had a lot of similarities, I felt, with Chris Marker's La Jetée, in that you had a protagonist of the protagonist of the novel is a photographer who has the ability to travel in time through images. So he, in this case, in the case of this novel, he takes a picture of a place and then is able to see that place in the future. In the end, stylistically, like the writing of this novel was kind of poor. It was kind of weak literature, but very strong in the sense of feeling that something is going to happen and that things will come to a catastrophic kind of end and there will be a revolution. This was in 2007. So I thought, okay, I was interested in this kind of weak writing, strong vision, kind of, and the links with La Jetée is one of the earliest kind of films I've seen and that influenced me. So I made the next film I will show you, which is a 9 minutes video. So this particular scene was happening in 2026. It's in German voiceover. Oh, that's not the German file. Oh.
السما صافية بتبرق فيها النجوم والقمر بدر.
Maybe I can play you the one with the German voiceover. Just a second.
Eine betörende Nacht, klarer Himmel, leuchtende Sterne, Vollmond. Der Mond ist so groß, man könnte meinen, gleich berühre er das Gizeh-Plateau und die Sphinx. Über dem ganzen Platz liegt diffuses Licht. Der Sockel der mittleren Pyramide, aufwendig gestaltet, der Boden aus Marmor mit wundervoll leuchtenden Inschriften, als wären sie von unten angestrahlt. Alles sauber, glänzt, keine Spur vom Staub des Gizeh-Plateaus. Aus einem anderen Blickwinkel sehe ich die Sonnenbarke in einer Glasstruktur. Sie sieht aus, als würde sie in der Luft schweben, Rund um die Pyramiden, weit und breit nur grüne Flächen, makellose Gärten. Ich sehe überhaupt keine Gebäude in der Umgebung. Es gibt keine Spur von provisorischen Siedlungen um das Gelände, als wären sie alle weggewischt worden, vernichtet. Das einzige Gebäude, das man am Horizont sieht, ist das große ägyptische Museum. Und überall sind Statuen, pharaonische Kutschen und andere Schätze, in Glaskuben, indirekt beleuchtet. Sie bevölkern den Raum auf wundersame Art und Weise. Um das Domrestaurant sehe ich zahlreiche Glaskugeln. Manche sind Restaurants und Nachtlokale, andere sind Kongresszentren und Festsäle. Ich sehe schwebende Glasbrücken, die die verschiedenen Stockwerke der Kugeln miteinander verbinden. Größte Genauigkeit in allen architektonischen Details. Transparente Flächen, zierliche metallische Linien, endlose grüne Flächen, soweit das Auge reicht. Wenn ich genauer hinschaue, sehe ich Tische mit Essen, sorgfältig in geometrische Anordnung gebracht. Märchenhafte, aus Eis geschnitzte Statuen stehen hier und da auf den Tischen, langsam vor sich hinschmelzend. Es gibt Essen aller Art. Viele Gerichte erkenne ich nicht, aber offensichtlich gibt es viele Meeresfrüchte. Kaviar, Sushi, Hummer, riesige Hummer. Und die Menschen, sie tragen elegante, aber äußerst seltsame Kleidung. Die meisten sehen gar nicht ägyptisch aus. Sie haben orientalische Züge, sind aber keine Araber. Manche sehen europäisch aus, andere asiatisch. Und alle essen extrem langsam, wie in Zeitlupe. Ich sehe keine Kellner. Dafür ist neben jedem Tisch ein Hologramm. Wenn jemand die Hand darüber streift, erscheinen aus einer Öffnung in der Tischmitte verschiedene Gerichte und Getränke. Und da, etwas Seltsames ist im Hintergrund zu sehen. Etwas stimmt hier nicht. Die Kulisse mit den Pyramiden wirkt natürlich, aber auf der gegenüberliegenden Seite ist etwas Merkwürdiges im Gange.
Right, so after that project, I was invited to contribute a book to a series of books, of publications that had the general title of Manuals of Treason. And the Manuals of Treason was a book project that was part of the Sharjah Biennial in 2010. And so I collaborated with an Egyptian writer who actually lives in Berlin. His name is Haysam El-Wardani. And together we decided that our take on this Manuals of Treason would be through sound, and we called the book The Middle Ear, like listening on people. And it was a collection of writings that we commissioned from a selection of interesting writers in Egypt who come from different fields, so either journalism, poetry, fiction, and this was the kind of maybe question we started with, like who begins first, who is there first, the listeners or the speakers? You wouldn't know these writers. I guess one of them, Dua Ali, is not a writer. She's an artist. Iman Mersel is maybe the one who has most translated in the group. She's a very talented, one of the best poets in Egypt. Haytham al-Wardani contributed a piece at the very end called Useful Information. It's a list of exercises. So the first one is how to disappear. The following one is how to reappear. And it's basically, it's all using kind of sonic instructions. So to start to read just the beginning, okay, sit alone in a public space like a cafe, garden, or public square. Try to shift your focus from the thoughts spinning in your mind to the sounds of the space surrounding you. Consider the sounds that reach your ear, sound by sound, without granting any one sound greater significance than the other. Contemplate the folds and creases of the sounds you now hear. When you hear the voice of a passerby, contemplate its tone and this tone's depth, not only the meaning of its words. When an annoying car drives past, contemplate the harsh sound of its motor and the sonic spectrum of its reverberations. When you hear a distant radio, don't focus merely on the singer's voice or the song's name, but rather contemplate the clarity of its frequency and listen to its static. Prevent these sounds from forming a hierarchy. Prevent them from occupying the foreground or retreating to the background. Always remember that you must place all sounds at the same distance from you. You will find that your greatest difficulty is concentrating on the sounds themselves, for the thoughts, impressions, and memories that these sounds conjure up will persistently take over part of your concentration, pushing the real-time sounds to the background. Make sustained efforts to return to the sounds arising in your present moment, for your mission is only to listen to them, not to think about their meanings. As time passes and you steep yourself in what you hear, you will discover an increasing number of sonic details around you. Each of these details will lead you to another. Each sound will lead you to a neighboring one. At this point, you will find that your inner voice gradually diminishes at the same rate by which you immerse yourself in your sonic environment. When you ultimately succeed in listening to the place in its entirety, you will find that the distance between yourself and the space's sounds has diminished, and that you have become part of the place. You will find that no one around you notices your presence. Everyone will pass by without seeing you. So this is one of the exercises in that Haytham writes in this useful information part of the book, which in the end became the beginning of a project that I started with another artist curator. We started a publishing project of how-to manuals. And the first manual we did was How to Disappear, which had many of the exercises that Haytham writes about here, and an extra kind of thing that he wrote especially for the book. Yeah, so as I'm saying, I'm going chronologically through things. Now, the book, this book we started working on in the end of 2010. It was at the printers when the revolution happened in 2011. And I will show you this film that I did 2 months after the revolution in March 2011. It's based on YouTube clips that I found of people who entered the state security buildings. There was this moment when people felt that important documents that incriminate the Mubarak's regime and the police were being burnt and shredded in the state security buildings. So people entered these buildings and started trying to rescue these documents as evidence and filming. So I made again a kind of 8-minute film that was, my interest was really not in in the evidence or in the things that they were finding, but more in the kind of other feeling of people when they were entering the space, like how can I say, like the psychological space that is shared between the visitors, the people who are entering into these spaces, and the kind of psychological space of the building itself. What I'm trying to say is I wasn't really interested in like kind of the facts, as in the emotional kind of space that was encountered. So it has no almost no dialogue. I took most of the sound out for different reasons, but. And now I will talk about a project that I co-curated with Ala Younes, the artist and curator from Jordan. We were asked to, by Pro Helvetia Cairo, to organize a photography exhibition that would, because of the Pro Helvetia connection, would have to be like half Swiss and half from the host kind of country. So we chose a selection of artists who work with the medium of photography or with film or video that engages with photography, both from the Arab world and from Switzerland. And yeah, this was done, we were working on this in 2012, 2013. Again, we work kind of influenced by what's happening around us, and we felt that the kind of predominant feeling was covering one's back. This was kind of the feeling that we had. I will show you works that we showed in this, samples of the works that we showed in this exhibition. And I will read to you the sentiment that kind of brought this exhibition together. So, covering one's back circles around a pool of emotions that have to do with surviving a moment, a person, a situation. If one were to start a list of pertinent emotions, it would include caution, assertiveness, doubt, verification, aspiration, withdrawal, posturing, deception, bullying, self-preservation, etc. These emotions, now more than ever, are our daily companions. They have guided the direction of this current exhibition. When we are stretched to our limit, we have no tolerance for excess. The question that pressed on us was, what images can we bear to look at now? What images can withstand us and our restlessness? Jimmy Schneider was the first to respond, a man wearing sunglasses and a poker face. Looking straight into the camera, his directness discloses nothing. He holds his cards close, stunning in both senses of the word. He doesn't need to do more to hold our attention and to threaten or survive us. Jimmy Schneider is, this man over here, who is this is one of the portraits by Heini Stucki. He's a Swiss photographer from Bern, who we found his work when we were researching and were really taken by the strength of his work. He's kind of more of a classical black and white photographer. Doesn't really circulate, I guess, in the contemporary kind of world of art. But this image really for us was like the key to the direction we took in the exhibition. Yeah, so I'll show to you a selection of images. This is a work by Atfal Ahdes, a Lebanese collective. The meaning of the title is, of their name is juvenile delinquents, basically. And in this series of works, they were working with photo templates that are found in commercial photography studios, where you have these ready templates and you just insert your head. Like before in old photography studios, you would have these cardboard or wooden cutouts where you would put your head in front, yeah? Now there's a digital equivalent of that, where they would just place your head. So for example, if you need a photograph wearing a suit for some kind of job application, you choose your body type and the kind of suit that you like, and the studio just inserts your head. And so the body types are not always ideal types. They have to be types that relate to your body. So it's not necessarily choosing a glamorous kind of sporty kind of body. It's choosing a body that makes sense to put, that relates to how you look. So they had a number of images that are made out of these composites of templates. And they make other things. I'm just showing. This is just again like these maquettes or like these cutouts. They made this small, very small kind of setup with magnets that you can move around. Yasser Alwan is a Cairo-based photographer who was of Iraqi origin. And in this work, he was focusing on, he photographed gamblers and like horse racing gamblers in Cairo. And he took photographs of portraits of the people there. They were amazing, again, photographs. And I'll show you just a few. It's a kind of a dying hobby. So you find mostly old people hanging around in these, it's not so active. This is George Auda, a photographer from Lebanon. And he was, he kind of was photographing fringe areas, fringe identities, fringe situations in a series, a very beautiful series also that we're only showing some of them here. This is actually, we chose work from two series, Quiet Crossings and another one called Shifting Grounds. Then we had Goran Gelek and Gian Rito Gridik from Zurich. They work together. One is a photographer, the other is a social anthropologist. And they did this work. It's a video installation where each monitor has an interview with a number of photojournalists around one question. So each monitor, a group of photojournalists are asked one question, and the questions relate to ethics of their profession, or kind of competitiveness in their profession. What do they think if are they losing their job for younger, or for kind of the digital, or like citizen reporters? How does it affect their profession as photojournalists? Many interesting questions that's really related to photography and photojournalism, and yeah, that wide field. They're not showing, they show here, but they don't show on the computer. Just a second. Yeah, a couple of images disappeared, so I'll just have to move on to the following one. These are images from Raphael Hefti, Swiss photo artist, and these are images that are made by these machines that calibrate bullets. So they're very scientific machines that kind of measure the speed and movement and things like this of bullets. And bullets are shot in some kind of fluid, and an image is taken, and it's purely scientific, for purely scientific industry reasons, but that resulted in very beautiful images. It's a huge series, and we chose also a big selection. But it's really a big series of really impressive images. This is by Cairo-based artist Hassan Khan. He was showing the last Documenta also. And this was a still video, like a video portrait of a person. But like, so it's moving, but the person is not moving. He's like posing as if for a for a photo. Tayo Onorato and Nico Cribbs, again a duo from Zurich, who are made a great work. This is from a series called The Great Unreal, where they really play with kind of tropes of photography that they really play around and sometimes use in a tongue-in-cheek way. They kind of really explore the aesthetics of Hollywood, of creation of these fantastic landscapes, these dream places, but also with kind of techniques that are with us from photography from the darkroom days, where manipulation of images that are kind of in an analog sense, and the different kind of tropes. It's hard to show many of the photographs. There's a huge selection also on the website of Tayo Honorato and Nico Krebs. You can get more of an idea. We probably maybe saw their work already somewhere in Germany. Yeah, and this is Heini Stucki. You saw the image already. And this is a selection from another body of work that he was doing on, I forgot the name of the word, people who study insects, and there's, I don't know the name. They study insects and maybe collect insects, and there's like a market where people go and kind of, you have all these beetles that are classified, or spiders classified, and you have specialists, and they, so this is the... Right, so the next project, chronologically somehow, is the text that I read to you before, like How to Disappear. So we made this book series called How To, كيف. And this was the first book, How to Disappear by Haytham Wardani, which included all the exercises I had mentioned. No, I didn't mention all of them, and they're not written here, but it's a selection of group of exercises. The second book we produced is by a Turkish artist called Cevdet Erik, who was also showing in the last documenta. And this book is called How to Imitate the Sound of the Sea Using Two Hands on the Carpet. So it's a very lovely book where he goes through the process of choosing what is the right carpet, so what is the correct, so that it produces the right sound, it doesn't hurt your hands, all of that. And it goes through diagrams of hand movement and what kind of room you have to be in so the sound, what kind of audience, like the number of audience, the size of the room, the thickness of the carpet, and it goes through, like what kind of, you have to have an image in your mind, a memory of a seashore. It's a very nice book. And this just came out this month, actually. Yeah, before that, there's this video I will show you. It's a 5-minute, a little less than 5 minutes, which I did in 2013. Again, it relates to this strand of work that relates to sound and to listening.
النجوم بتفكرني بالمتصنفين خطافين الكلام. لما تشوف شهاب في السماء اعرف ان في حد بيتمنع من التجسس على الناس.
المسلسل التركي بالذات بتهزر يا جدع. بتهزر.
المسلسلات الهندي دخلت البيت.
ايوه شويه وتقوم تخلص حاجه. جه الفيلم اللي هي كانت مستنيه ما تتفرجش.
لما شهاب يفوت في السماء في حد بيتمنع من السماء.
الشباب اللي قاعدين
فعلا
فيهم
اشمعنى
ما بيتفرجوا على جنى. بص يا جنى،
فاكر الجن لما كانوا بيرموا ودنه وبعدين يروحوا يحرفوا الكلام لسمعوه؟
انا مره واحد قال لي
فاتمنعوا من السمع، اترموا بالشهب علشان يبطلوا يتصنطوا.
ده عامل زي سيد الحربيه.
طب افرضي انا بحب التصنط.
مسؤوليته كام زرار
اصل انت جاوبت.
عامل زي سيد الحربيه.
يعني الحقيقه لو فكرت في الموضوع افضل اتصنت عليكي من ان اسمعك كده وانت قاعده جنبي.
نعم. ليه يعني؟ انت بتثقش فيا؟
ممكن تسمع الحوار مني.
مش مساله عدم ثقه، انا بس متهيألي ان الكلام اللي بتقوليه وانت بعيده عني ممكن يكون معبر اكتر، ولا ايه؟
ايوه فعلا بجد هي اصلا متأجرة. احنا هنشوف شقه ثانيه عشان الشقه كمان بتاعتي متأجرة.
هي الموقع في التجمع؟
غريبة قوي دي.
حد ان هو مناسب جدا 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 مع
وانا المفروض انبسط دلوقتي انك عايز تتصنت عليا بس.
انت شايف ان انت
ايوه لاني عاوز اسمعك باقرب شكل.
ظهر كبات شمس اصفر مع اخضر عجبتني. انت ما لقيتيش غير مش شرط ان نجيب شخصيتك تغير يا ماما.
ايه الشعر ده؟ وهتعمل كده ازاي بقى؟ معاك جهاز مثلا ولا هتخلي ودنك معايا؟
انا ليا طرقي بقى.
مش لما تقرب ودنك قوي كده حاجات هتاخد حجم اكبر من حجمها.
يعني الموضوع دلوقتي هيبقى انا بسمع ازاي مش انت اللي بتقولي ايه؟
ايوه انت بتسمع ازاي وليه؟ وطبعا هيبقى في حاجات هتسمعها وحاجات هتقع منك وحاجات هتمنها من دماغك.
طب يمكن ده هو المهم في الاخر، اللي انا بسمعه بس، حتى لو سمع غلط. ويمكن اللي انت بتقوليه وانا مش موجود اصدق.
الحقيقة العارية متوارية في غيمة من الخصوصية، بعيد عن ودان وعينين المتطفلين اللي زيك.
المتطفلين اللي زي اللي بيروحوا بعد كده يحوروا الكلام. عامة انا لسه برضو لو خيروني هختار اسمع بتقولي ايه لما تكوني فاكراني مش سامع.
معانا آلية
ماشي، بس خليك فاكر بقى ان السما مليانة حرس ونار قايدة، وان اللي هيتصنت هيترمي بالشهرة ومحدش هيفلت ولا حتى الشعراء.
شعراء ايه؟ هو انا اللي بحاول ابقى شاعري دلوقتي؟
امال ده ايه ده بقى؟ ونقرا؟
السمكة اليتيمة اللي تقعد واقف.
لا هقول لك دي حالة ارهاب كوني. ده انت يا ستي خليتي النجوم عاملين زي ما يكونوا ضباط امن دولة.
الله يجازي الثورة بقى اللي عملت كده.
يمكن انت بس اللي بتحاول تخلي التدخل في خصوصيات الناس حاجة رومانسية.
حتى وعدها بجواز احنا ما اتجوزتوش.
ولا يمكن انت بس اللي ما بتحبيش وداني.
ما احنا كلنا بشر يا مولانا.
انا بموت في وداني.
خطائين. انت بقى يا ليك ادب يا سامي. كنت عارف ان دي بنت خالتي اتجوزتها ليه؟ اتجوزتها وعارفها تعمل مشاكل. بس هو قال انا ما جبت سيره هبه ولا جبت سيره لا ده مكلمني انا.
So it's very much about listening on other people, and although I was kind of recording conversations in this park, and also people who are sitting, so they're not actors, they're just people sitting in this park in Cairo. And it's based on a kind of story about this eavesdroppers who are, it's a Quranic image where eavesdroppers who are in that case, what's the word? The muses of poetry. They kind of, they're in the sky and they kind of listen to things and then they inspire the poets with these things. But because they were also kind of mixing things, and also prophets were not believed because there was kind of this complicated, not complicated, but there was this competition on truth, who is saying the truth or who has a claim over truth, poets or prophets. And at one point there was this image, Quranic image, that poets were stopped from listening, so that it's now the time of the prophets to kind of come forth with the truth. And they were thrown with shooting stars. I just took this image as a starting point for this kind of conversation. This is the last work I will show you. It's a curatorial thing. It's an exhibition I'm curating in Cairo that will open end of this month while I'm here because of dates changed and it was just like that. It's a photographic exhibition, not just photography, video, sculpture by this Cairo-based artist called Rana Nimr. So the exhibition is called Assembled in Streams of Synonyms. So it's kind of, so what she's working with a variety of spaces where she kind of sees kind of an opening, where something in a space that kind of allows it to be something else. She talks about inner voids in spaces, and these spaces can be physical, urban, literary, texts, spaces like kind of these spaces where she personally finds a moment where things can flip and be something else. This is to kind of try to say, give an idea. Yeah, it's a huge body of work that she's still choosing from, making different kinds. I'm just showing you some of the photography, but like I said, it includes also video and sculpture and text. Yeah, so the last thing, this is my last work. It's an album cover for this very good musician who is really one of the most interesting musicians coming out of Cairo now. And we will get to listen to his album here in Schmela Haus on the 27th. And this is the invitation. So you are welcome to join here on a listening party where I will play the album. It's the same. It will be the same day when the album is launching in Cairo. And yeah, I will play a track from that album for you at the end, but maybe first if you, yeah, this is the end of my presentation, so I don't know if there's any questions or if you'd like to comment on something, or we can do that after and I play the music, I don't know.
There are questions here in the audience, and I know Susanne Titz has a question.
Well, I was a little late, but well, I don't know if you started with that. I would like to know how it is to work as a curator at the moment in Cairo, and how can you select works, and why are shows so short? Because you were showing, for example, an exhibition, or you were showing an invitation, which was indicating an exhibition which starts on the 9th and ends this 23rd.
Yeah, but that was a kind of a problem in. Usually exhibitions are like depending on who is putting the exhibition, but usually they are a month, for example, or longer. This exhibition, there was just with the planning, there was vacations that were not taken into account, and then works coming in, like complications that led to this exhibition being short in time. Yeah, I mean, curating is like is always. I mean, there's nothing has changed now from before. There is in Egypt. There is like the official kind of museum where they do not really have they put shows, but they do not really have like curators. That's kind of like more in a not a very specialized way. The more interesting and serious exhibition making happens in the non-governmental or like the non-governmental independent scene. And of course, the duration of the exhibition means cost of renting equipment, all of that. So the duration of an exhibition would be related to also how long can you keep up the exhibition.
Is there censorship?
Not like you would imagine. Now there is more self-censorship, I would say, than there is in the arts. I mean, in the arts, especially in the visual arts, they're not so like on the radar. Cinema, literature, things that reach a mass audience would encounter problems.
I have learned that social media had made possible the Arab Spring. Do social media influence your work, or do you respond to social media promoting your work, reaching a broader audience?
I mean, social media is like is a very important source of information. You find a lot of you learn about a lot of things from them. They circulate a huge amount of information and of whatever photographs, videos, text, news. So you get a lot of content being circulated on social media. It's not like kind of only social or about class gatherings and things like this. It's you get really a lot of information from them. So yeah, of course I learn a lot I get a lot of material information from social media. 2 of my works already. There's the one that I've taken videos from YouTube. There's something else I'm working on now where I'm taking messages that someone posted on Facebook. I'm using them. She was someone who left Egypt like last year for different reasons and was writing letters back home, which she always titled "Dear Animal," and she always signed the dolphin. And I'm using those for a video called "Dear Animal," which I'm working on. It is kind of. I think it's an important space.
Do you also actively use social media to promote your work? I've seen you have used YouTube, but do you, not only as a recipient, do you actively use it?
Just, I think in Egypt we all actively use it as a sense of, it's a way of announcing. So for example, we announced this album. One of the main places to announce it is on Facebook, for example, because it's you don't have maybe printed guides that have a wide circulation, or you cannot really, I mean, cost-wise, publicize it in newspapers, for example. So you'd find most exhibitions, album releases, all of this are being publicized on social media because it's of the vast spread reach it has. So yeah.
I have a very quick question. In which garden were you filming for the Shooting Stars film?
Yeah, it's called Azhar Park.
In which city?
Cairo.
Ah, Cairo.
Yeah, it's one of the few, maybe the only garden that
I was
looks
just
like
asking because you can hear that there are not so many public gardens, or there are gardens, but they are not accessible for the public.
There are gardens, but they're not so manicured. This one is taken care of because it's done by the Aga Khan Foundation. It's just like under a kind of serious management. But it's kind of a public park. You can enter it. You pay a small fee, which is like 30 cents or something like this, or maximum €1, depending. And yeah, it's a very nice park, huge, and
Yeah, I would also like to ask you a question. Maybe it's a little bit specific and we could talk on that later, but I would be very interested in the initiation of the founding of the Contemporary Image Collective in 2004, and if there is a relation to the Lebanon-based Arab Image Foundation, which has been founded, as far as I know, a little bit earlier in '97. From Akram Satari and people like him. I don't know if this is a too specialized question, but maybe you can shortly respond.
Yeah. So how can I say? In 2004, there were many spaces that started in Egypt by artists or like professionals, kind of addressing the lack of that there's not so much institutions on the ground that are addressing the special interests of people. So CIC started, but also at the same year you had another space started that's interested in theater and performance. Another space started in Alexandria that also focuses on visual arts. Several, like I can't remember them, but that year there was like just somehow.
And why 2004?
I don't know. It just happened that there's enough people. There's kind of like what do they call when you have an energy that builds up, or enough people interested to do something. But since then, also till now, you start having all of this artists starting spaces, professional actors starting addressing the need that there's no rehearsal spaces, for example. So they start their own foundation that provides rehearsal spaces, for example. So there was that the Arab Image Foundation. We are different. We of course admire their work, but they are kind of more. They had a more specific target, which is researching historic image, like the history of photography in the Arab world, or by Arab practitioners. Since that chapter in photography is not really known, the contribution of this region, the Middle East, in photography. So they started like a very vast research and collection of images, negatives, from which they make exhibitions and monographs.
Thank you. So, as time has advanced, we maybe you say some few words on that musician before we listen to it, and I also want to say, maybe I can shortly say it in German, because nächsten Donnerstag das Programm, was angekündigt ist, das kommt natürlich zuerst. Um 7 Uhr beginnt es mit der Lesung, die das Literaturbüro NRW im Zusammenhang mit der Ausstellung nach Ägypten, Paul Klee und Max Slebocks Reisen, Bilder von ihren ägyptischen Reisen. Aber dann im Anschluss daran eben haben wir gedacht, das ist jetzt irgendwie, können wir mal so spontan mit ins Programm nehmen, und wir wollen schauen, wie wir das noch weiter verbreiten können, dass dann danach eben, nach dieser Lesung, eine Listening Party, wo wir auch noch nicht genau wissen, was ist es? Ist es ein Konzert oder sitzen wir, stehen wir, tanzen wir? I don't know. Will we sit? Will we stand? Will we dance during hearing that? We don't know.
As you like. It's just we just have this. The album will be playing, and you're free to walk, stand, dance, whatever you feel like.
Maybe we'll just move the chairs here, or
possibly.
So would be nice. You will join us next week, and thank you very much.
Thank
Maha.
you. Thank you, everyone, like
coming,
the survivors of the audience.
Okay.
So I'll leave you with the last track. Yeah. So Maurice Lou is a young musician from Cairo. He's been making music for and playing for like many years as a solo musician, but also as part of several groups. And this is his last album. I'll just play one track, and see you maybe next week.